Hello, everybody, and welcome to this afternoon's winter weather update. So, two major storms are going to be impacting the lower 48 over the next several days. However, in this video, I'm only going to be focusing on the first storm. So, looking at the 18Z run of the GFS model, our first storm is currently bringing snow to the western areas of the country in Nevada, California, Oregon, and Washington, and Utah. And as we go through the afternoon and evening, our storm's going to swing through the four corners, bringing snow to Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico into tomorrow morning. Snow will last throughout the day across New Mexico and into Colorado. And then as we start going into Friday morning, or Thursday evening, Thursday overnight, our snow is going to move into western Kansas, Oklahoma, the Texas Panhandle, and waking up Friday morning, we're going to be experiencing some moderate to heavy snow across much of southern Kansas, northern Oklahoma, western Arkansas, and western Missouri as our storm begins to ramp up. However, our storm will kind of split into two pieces as we go into Saturday, bringing some light snow showers to portions of the Midwest. And then this is when we're going to start to see impacts across the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast with heavy rain across the Southeast in the Saturday morning, January the 6th, with snow moving into Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia, and freezing rain across portions of Western Virginia, North Carolina, perhaps Southern Ohio. And as we go through into Saturday afternoon, could be seeing heavy snow moving across northern Virginia, West Virginia, southern Pennsylvania, and then going into Saturday overnight. This is when we could start seeing snow potentially in Philadelphia, maybe just north of Washington, D.C. and Baltimore into New York State. And then we could potentially see snow in New York City going into Saturday night, Sunday morning, snow moving across New England into Boston, going into Sunday morning. And then as we go through the morning into the early afternoon Sunday, still holding on to snow across southeastern New England in the Boston, Cape Cod, Rhode Island, Connecticut area, and eventually our nor'easter will pull away as we go into Monday. Now, taking a look at snowfall accumulations with our first storm across the continental United States, we're going to be seeing a lot of snow across the western part of the country, with widespread 2 to 6 inches in many of the lower to mid elevations of the western third of the country. And in the higher elevations, a good 6 inches to 2 feet are going to be likely in areas like the Sierra Nevada, the Cascades, portions of the Rockies, especially across Colorado, could see as much as 3 feet of snow. From this first system, moving into the plains, could be seeing a good 2 to 6 inches across northern Oklahoma, northern Texas Panhandle, Kansas, and Nebraska, with about a dusting to 2 inches of snow across the Great Lakes, northern plains, and Midwest. However, looking at the Northeast, in the 18Z run of the GFS model, snow totals have kind of ticked up since yesterday, where we could be seeing a widespread 6 to 12 inches of snow across portions of West Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New York State, northern New Jersey, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, southern New Hampshire, and Maine. And this snow line comes very close to New York City. So if you live in New York City, it may be a big snowstorm, it may be a small snowstorm, might even be a bust as you are on the dividing line. And then Boston, you're likely going to be seeing snow, potentially as much as 8 to 12 inches of snow from the system. So make sure you're preparing for a big snowstorm, especially in New England, New York State, Pennsylvania, into Maryland, and northern Appalachia. Taking a look at ice accretion in the GFS model, we're going to be seeing some icing across portions of the Mid-Atlantic. Could be seeing a good 1/10 to a 1/4 inch of ice across portions of western North Carolina, Virginia, northern Virginia, southern West Virginia, maybe southern Ohio and eastern Kentucky as well. So make sure you're preparing for a minor icing event if you live in these areas from this winter storm. Now, taking a look at another model, the European model shows similar snowfall accumulations across the west, northern plains, central plains, Midwest, and Great Lakes. However, zooming in to the northeast on the European model has significantly higher snowfall accumulations across the northeast, beginning with a good 2 to 6 inches across Kentucky, Tennessee, western North Carolina, Virginia, up towards West Virginia, up to 10 inches of snow in western Maryland. However, looking at the Euro, widespread swath of 8 to 12 inches across much of Pennsylvania, New York State, and then from New York State through Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, into western Massachusetts, northern Massachusetts, could be seeing as much as a foot to a foot and a half of snow in the European model. So the European model verifies could be looking at a very significant snowstorm with this storm coming up Saturday into Sunday across especially the New England region. And once again, New York City is right on the dividing line. So make sure you're really paying attention if you live in New York City, as there's some uncertainty in the forecast with regards to snowfall accumulations. And looking at the Canadian model, similar totals in the West in the Canadian as the Euro and the GFS, as well as the Plains, Midwest. And once again, looking at the Northeast, this is where we have major differences once again. The Canadian is showing less snow across New England of about 2 to 8 inches, and pushing the highest snowfall accumulations into the Appalachia region and southwestern areas of the Northeast in West Virginia, Northern Virginia, Western Maryland, Pennsylvania, New York State, giving a widespread swath of 8 to 18 inches of snow in the Canadian model, with once again New York City right on the dividing line. So I'm really going to continue to update you guys on this potential blockbuster snowstorm, first major snow of the season across the Northeast as the days progress. And finally, closing out the video with our National Weather Service's watches, warnings, and advisories map. We have winter weather advisories across eastern Nevada, portions of the mountains in California, northeastern Arizona, southern Utah, much of western northern New Mexico, far southern Colorado, western Kansas, far southwestern Nebraska, far western Oklahoma, northwestern Texas Panhandle in the purples, with winter storm warnings across much of northern New Mexico in the pinks, and winter storm warnings in the southern Sierra Nevada in the pinks, winter storm watches in the dark blues in the northern Sierra Nevadas, and some wind advisories across southern Nevada and California, freeze watches and warnings across southern Arizona. So thanks for watching this evening's winter weather update. Make sure you're really paying close attention to this storm system and nor'easter if you live in the Northeast. Please stay safe and have a wonderful evening, my friends.